We have about 9 people in attendance, 2 staff members.
Okay, I'm calling the meeting of August 4th, 2020, commission meeting, special meeting to order, and I'm going to request the clerk to call roll.
Mayor Weissman,
Here.
Vice Mayor Weinberg,
Here.
Commissioner Landman,
Here.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Here.
Commissioner Mizrahi,
Here.
Commissioner Narotsky,
Here.
Commissioner Shelley,
Here.
Mr. Wasson,
Here.
Mr. Wolfen.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you so much. This meeting shall be held in accordance with the Governor's Executive Order 2020-69, extended through Executive Orders 2112, 2123, 2139, 2150, and 2179. Because of COVID-19 and the need to ensure the public health, safety, and welfare, this meeting is being conducted remotely via Zoom. Due to the ongoing state of emergency and the recommendations from all public health authorities, the City of Aventura recommends that all persons view and participate in the meeting through electronic means. Members of the public have been directed on how to access the meeting through the agenda posted online and at the Government Center. Members of the public will be able to provide comments via audio when the item is open to public comment. The city clerk will provide directions on how to participate when the item is open for public comment. The first item on our agenda is, and just because we do it this way, I'm going, well, David, will our
Yes,
attorney,
ma'am.
first item?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. City Commission of the City of Aventura, Florida, acting in its capacity as the governing board for the city's Aventura City of Excellence School and governing board for the city's Don Sofa Aventura High School, a motion approving opening schedule dates and mobile learning only for the Aventura City of Excellence School, ACES, and Don Sofa Aventura High School, DSA-HS, consistent with the revised Miami-Dade County School Board District Schools opening schedule and in accordance with the city manager's memorandum.
Can I have a motion for approval? Made by Commissioner Shelley, seconded by Commissioner Narotsky. I'm going to request the city manager to review the item.
As you know, it's a pretty simple item. We've made a decision. I hope to make the decision to follow the Miami-Dade School District's schedule, where August 24th would be a day of opening for orientation for parents and students, and the official first day of school would drop back to August 31st. There will be review of COVID medical conditions throughout the county that will be made periodically starting late September. And if that works, if things are really in good shape, then we could consider going back to school schedule, brick and mortar. That's the consideration.
That's a report. I got that. Do any members of the commission have any questions or comments? Dr. Marks, I'm sorry, it's a little hard for me to see.
I'm just wondering if we've done, or if the schools have done any kind of outreach at all to our parents to find out about their feelings about pushing it back a week versus starting, only because the kids have been home and not doing that much for a very long time.
And we're asking that, are either of our principals on this meeting, Elisa?
No, but I have Rachel when Freitag is on from charter school.
Dr. Marks, would you like our city manager to respond, or would you like Ms. Freitag to respond?
Well, I think probably.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
I'm interested to know how we reached out and, and what kind of input. Again, I think these are such challenging times right now that as much information as we can get from parents, students, and staff, that will help us make these very difficult decisions. So tell me, Ron, tell me what we did.
We sent, I know ACES sent out an email to all parents and got a very large response. Most of them, a large part of the response was they were interested to know whether we were going to follow Miami-Dade School District, and that, I think, was the prevailing consensus of the parents at ACES. I didn't speak to David specifically on the high school, but I know the percentages were they were kind of similar, just on going back to school, whether it was either by, coming back fully or coming back virtually. Actually, David is there is there too.
Yeah, that wasn't my question. My question was, have we asked about start date for both high school? Again, it's speaking to the teachers, our staff, as well as our parents. Have we just gotten any input at all? And maybe David can answer also, meaning maybe David has done something in the high school that we should know about or something?
Well, while we're on ACES, I will say that I've heard from 6 parents, and their preference would be for us not to follow the Dade County and delay school for the week. But again, it's anecdotal, and that's all I've heard.
Yeah, see, we need data.
Yeah,
I can't see Mr. McKnight, so Elisa, if his hand is up to respond, or if Mr. Tricala is there, maybe they could add something to this.
Commissioners, good afternoon. This is David McKnight with the high school, and I just wanted to share with everyone, we sent out an email to the parents notifying them of the district's decisions and letting them know that our board would be making a decision this week and that we would be getting back with them. I have gotten 0 emails from our parent population related to that information that I shared with them.
Wait a second, there's a difference between sending an informational email. Did you ask the question, please respond, we would like to know if you prefer the 24th or the 31st?
No, Commissioner, I did not.
Do we know if ACES did that?
Anthony's not on the line, but I'm gonna speak now as the manager. I think it is in everybody's best interest to follow the district for the simple reason Miami-Dade is still considered one of the premier hotspots for COVID in the nation. So I think not following Dade, while it's, whether you agree with that or not, it might not even be a popular decision. I think it's the best decision for us at this time. If the numbers were a lot lower, I would have, maybe recommended going somewhere other way, but that's my feeling. And I wrote that.
Sir, respectfully, I don't think, you've got my vote, but I don't think that was Commissioner Marks's question. Commissioner Marks asked a process question.
Okay, and the answer was,
and the answer was no, we didn't. Okay, so let me ask if there's any other, and let me ask one other thing. City Manager, when you said the 24th and then starting school the 30th or 31st.
31st.
Are we also following their recommendation that should everything go well, we would consider the reopening of schools full-time October 5th?
Yes.
So it's the entire resolution that Miami-Dade School Board passed.
Right. I mean, we could make that determination also for ourselves at that time.
Yes, I mean, we can go
Right.
back. And if we're on
Mayor?
the billing side, Commissioner Shelley and then Commissioner Landman.
Yeah, just for point of information, seeing as they know me on the Williams Island as a commissioner, I have had very, very positive responses to the fact that we're keeping the school closed. They are telling me that they've had communication about it. They were told and they were expecting it to follow the county. And they're very happy to hear, as much as they may be a little inconvenienced, they were very happy that we're taking this health precautions. And they did evidently get some kind of information. They were told about it. I know some teachers that were told about it. They knew what was happening and they're very happy with the result. So I just thought I'd add that to it from the people I've spoken to.
Great. Commissioner Landman, and for some reason I can see you.
Okay, I'm here. Thank you. So I'm almost glad that a survey or email asking preference was not sent out, because I really think that we need to make the determination, and God forbid, you know, we send out a survey, we get results that we don't want, and then what happens? You know, either way, we're going to have people who won't agree with our decision. So I actually believe, you know, it's probably in our best interest that we didn't send out some sort of survey. With that, I'm very happy that we are following the recommendation, just because we're still a hot spot, and one more week can, you know, bring us down 3 percentage points, whatever it may be, but anything helps. And I think since we are going virtual, we do need that week prior to get people acquainted with whatever platform we're using and get really people on board with, you know, the experience that they're going to be seeing starting August 31st. So I think, you know, it's a good thing. I think you're going to have people on both sides. You're going to hear from both sides. People who have, you know, kids in other schools that are starting, like my daughter's school is starting August 25th. And you're going to have people who have other children in the public school system who are, you know, happy that this is happening. So I think I'm kind of happy we don't have the survey. With that said, you know, obviously I want to make sure that once we approve this today, we need to send out effective communication to all families, letting them know what we've decided, how to prepare, blah, blah, blah. Thank you.
Any other commissioner? Commissioner Dr. Martz.
Hi, I just want to respond to Commissioner Landman. I think that if we look at our role on the commission as serving our public, then I think that the more input we can get helps us to make an informed decision. And especially as it pertains to school, last year was a very, very challenging year. Parents found themselves in the position of becoming teachers at the same time that they were trying to work. And I don't have to go into this. Everyone on the commission knows and understands all of the issues that were, you know, involved here. So my only interest in finding out is, yes, ultimately we make the decision, but I personally would enjoy making an informed decision, just because it would, you know, my attitude is just in the capacity of serving, I would like to know. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Landman.
So Linda, and I agree with you, like data is important. I just think that right now the data that we really need, and trust me, I had my kids, you're telling the parent who is working full-time from home, who had to figure out how to get a 4-year-old on Zoom. Like, I agree 100%. I just think that right now the data that we really, really need is the medical data. So I agree with you. Data is important, but I think for the decision, it's good to have, but I think that for this, we need other data. But I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with everything that you're saying.
You know,
Okay.
again, we're starting mobile, so.
I need to see your hand to recognize you, please. Go on, Dr. Marks. And then Commissioner Ms. Ross.
Because this appears to be a mobile start, a virtual start, as opposed to an in-person start, you know, that's why I was thinking that, wow, I'd like to know what parents want, because maybe it would give kids structure a little bit sooner. And one of the things that I'm just going to post, because I'd like people to think about it, not to answer today, but I'm going to ask the question on the 13th is, what about our little tiny people, our little Ks? I want somebody to be able to explain to me, especially virtual learning. I just, you know, Rachel, you're shaking your head. I just want to understand how we can really effectively have our kids virtually learn, you know, in K. But that's not for today. It's just, again, it's just these kinds of things, trying to find a way to really have an excellent year, and it's going to be challenging. Thank you.
Commissioner Mizrahi.
Yes, I just wanted to say that even though the data is really important, the community is looking to us for guidance. Beyond one more week, that's what I've been hearing. Like, what do we decide? What are we following? So it's more making us the decision than hearing what they need to say at this point. And I think once we make a decision, we move forward and plan accordingly.
Okay, any other commissioners? And then I'm going to open it to the public. Any other commissioners? Okay, because Mark's disappeared from my screen, so I just want to make sure. Okay, I'm going to,
I'm here. You don't see me?
no, for some reason Denise is on and you're off, but it's okay.
I
So if
see
you
him,
need,
Mayor. He looks
Okay,
very
if you-
nice. He looks
if
very
you-
nice. I see him.
if you need to talk, just let me know. I'm going to open this item for public comment, and I'm going to request the city clerk to review the procedures for members of the public to provide comment.
If any members of the public would like to provide comments on this item, please tap on your screen and raise your hand at this time to be recognized. If there's any members of the public that would like to comment on this item, if you're calling in, please press *9 in order to raise your hand. I do have one speaker, Ellen Elias.
Good afternoon, Commissioner and Mayor and everyone. Thank you for having this special meeting. I just had a question regarding the 100% virtual. Last week at the other meeting, it was mentioned that teachers would be going to their classrooms and teaching virtually from their school. And I know that there was some discussion about what about teachers that had children at home. And so I was wondering if that plan had been finalized regarding what the faculty will be doing, because I know last year across the county, not necessarily in charter schools, there were teachers who sort of disappeared and it wasn't quite as effective as it could have been. So I was wondering in terms of how we're going to have our faculty during the virtual period of teaching. Will they be in their empty classrooms or will they be teaching from home is really what the question I had. Thank you.
Okay, Ellen, there's no cop out here, but that question will be answered at the workshop meeting. I think it's the 13th. Today, all we're doing is approving the opening, the starting date, but the next meeting, we'll get into all of the nitty gritty. And it behooves us just to deal with this issue today and then deal with the other issues as it applies to the resolutions that we bring forward. Is there anyone else from the public?
If there are any other members from the public that would like to speak, please raise your hand at this time. Mayor, I'm not seeing anybody else at this time.
Okay, I'm closing the item for public comment and I'm asking the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Mizrahi,
Yes.
Commissioner Narotsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Weinberg,
Yes.
and Mayor Weissman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, the next item on the agenda, item number 3, it's a motion, and I'm going to request the city attorney to read the motion.
Thank you, Mayor. Adoption of a motion to approve and accept the attached interlocal agreement for federally funded subaward CARES Act distribution, authorizing the city manager to execute and implement the agreement.
Okay, can I have a motion for approval? Made by Commissioner Shelley, seconded by Commissioner Mizrahi. I'm going to request the city manager to review this item. It's probably the best item you'll ever review.
Well, to be honest with you, you could probably review it better than me because I think it was the efforts of the mayors and in you particularly that kind of brought about a turn in the events. As everybody knows, there was money in, the money was out, now it's back in. This agreement will allow us to access that money from the county, approximately $100 million to be split amongst 34 cities. And I can tell you right now, if this is approved today, we will again be the first city to be in the money, as they say.
Okay. Does any member of the commission have any questions or comments?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if you can see me.
I have to open it for public comment, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
Commissioner Narotsky.
No, I appreciate your efforts because, Mayor, because this is literally millions of dollars, which is really fantastic. So I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mark. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to open the item for public comment. Let's see if we have any before I read the rest.
If there's anybody from the public that would like to make comments at this time, please tap your screen and raise your hand. If you're calling in, please press *9 in order to raise your hand. I'm not seeing any speakers at this time, Mayor.
I'm closing the item for public comment, and I'm going to ask the clerk for one minute. Yeah, I'm going to ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Commissioner Landman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dr. Marks,
Yes.
Commissioner Mizrahi,
Yes.
Commissioner Narodsky,
Yes.
Commissioner Shelley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Weinberg,
Yes.
and Mayor Weissman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Would one of you be so kind as to make a motion for adjournment? Vice Mayor Weinberg, seconded by everybody. The meeting is adjourned. Ron, please give the date and time of the workshop so all the people that are listening will hear it.
August 13th, 9 a.m.
August 13th, 9 a.m. I will tell you that both plans are quite lengthy. 2 different schools, 2 different plans. Please allow us as commissioners enough time to go through this rather than the night before. And with that, this meeting is adjourned, and see you on the 13th.
Thank you. Have a wonderful
Thank
day.
you all. Take care. Be well. Thank you.
Enjoy your vacation.